Hey, how's it going, everybody? For today's video, I wanted to go over configuration on how you can play and beat Punch-Out using a Ps4 controller or any other controller on Dolphin. Now, I know what you're about to say. You're about to say, yeah, well, there's a mode where you can actually play this game with just a horizontal Wiimote, but you don't get all of the functionality, and it's really not as easy playing with a control pad as opposed to, a PS4's control stick. So, let me just show you really quick, though, what it looks like to play on a PS4 controller. So yes, I promise you can't see it right now, but I am playing on a PS4 controller. And then I will show you the configuration for it. So, here I am, just playing as Little Mac against Glass Joseph. And yes, he is French, and it's going to exploit every French stereotype. So, the weirdest things happen. As of right now, as I'm filming, of course, I'm having issues. My square button isn't working, so I can give him the left hook. I literally was just having it work, though, right before recording this, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But, my right hook is working great. As you can see, I can totally just use this guy. And that is a star hit on it. Usually you want to save those for the third time he gets up.
1, 2,
I should say the second time he gets up on the third part of the round, because then it's an automatic TKO. Okay, here we go. Now my left is working. Yeah, so hopefully when you do the configuration, it doesn't have this issue with you. I'm kind of using the configuration, a modified configuration from Skyward Sword, and so I'm thinking I might have something configured wrong. But there we go. That's a first round TKO.
TKO!
And of course, this isn't to say like I'm good at the game by any means, but, because this is the first guy. But, so anyway, I have proven concept here that you can beat this using the control stick and controller.
Holy smokes, kid. You're the real...
So, let's go over now what I did. So, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get out of full screen. And I'm going to bring over my controller settings. So first thing you want to do on your Dolphin 5.0, you want to go to controller, so go ahead and click that. And then this little box right here shows up. You want to go down to Wii Remotes, click on configure. And now I'm going to make this, I think it's plenty big. You guys can see that, right? So anyway, what I would say is I would copy exactly what I have here. Now, if you do have the issues with the square button with the left hook, let me know, because I've had some issues with it, but it shouldn't matter because you can just choose with the right hook every single time. So, anyway, with your layout, button 1 and button 7, which on my controller, button 1 is the A button, right? That's the X button, the cross button. So that's what I have there. I have it typed in, so you need to do an apostrophe button 1 apostrophe. Do that straight line that's located, is that above the enter key on an American keyboard? And once again, so for button 7 is the right trigger. And the reason why I do that, I will go into that too, but that is how you activate the star power. So when you do your right hook, you hold in the right trigger, and that's how you punch with the star power. So anyway, that is the A button. The B button I have assigned to the circle button, which is button number 2. Buttons 1 and 2, where did I assign those? I assigned that, so button 1 I assigned to R1 on the PS4 controller, and then button 2 is L1. You never use them in the game, they're not used at all, so I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, for the minus button, that is my share button, which is like the select button. And then the plus start button, so they assigned it to. And the home button was the PlayStation button. The D-pad, those are pretty self-explanatory, up, down, left, and right. Okay, make sure that extension is nunchuck, or else this game's not going to work for you the way that we want it to. And then it doesn't matter, I mean, you can click the button Attach Motion Plus. It might have better syncing with it. I have not tried both ways, with or without, but I would just go ahead and do it with. Okay, going on to what we're doing here. Okay, so the idea behind this, to make this work with the advanced controls with the shakes, you're going to essentially with your square button, with your hook left. What's really happening is in this game with the Wiimotes, your nunchuck, when you're holding it with your left hand, you would move that forward, you'd shake it so that it would simulate you hitting. The same goes with the Wiimote with your right hand. So you would push that forward or move it forward, and then you would punch with your right hand. So to simulate that, assign each shake, so your x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, to button 2, which button 2 is your circle button. Make sure there's no dead zone, because you want this to count every time you press it. Make the intensity all the way up, and frequency, I think that's all the way up too, okay, 20 hertz. So that way you're hitting it, and you can just keep on hitting it because it's fast. So you just keep on pressing that button, and it will react fast. As far as the pointer, that's for like when you cycle around the menu, that's going to be mapped to your left control stick. So you want to do up, down, left, and right. You don't need that button 3 there. That is an old remnant from my Skyward Sword play. So let's get rid of that now. Save that. Okay, so up, down, left, and right. That's all your control stick. Your recenter button, that we made it button 10. Let's find out what 10 is. Button 10. Button 10 is the left click. You won't need to ever recenter in this game. I have not had that problem, but if you need to, just assign that to your left thumbstick click. Once again, get rid of dead zone, unless you can notice that your circle there in the middle of the point is wobbly. If it's wobbly, you're going to want to mess with that. You're going to want to increase your dead zone so that your pointer doesn't move around, because it will just be harder to navigate your menu. Okay. Yeah, don't mess with anything else. Just keep it at default 25 with the yaw and the 19 with the total pitch. With the tilt, this is also a remnant from Skyward Sword. Get rid of that. None of this will be used. None of the tilt will be used, and then none of the swing will be used. That would be, yeah, you don't need it. We'll run really quick. Let's activate the controller back up here, so do bad things for us. Okay. Motion input, recenter, button 10. Once again, that's the left click button. Do not do anything else with this screen. This screen, let it stay as is. It will just mess up your game. Going on to extension. This is where it's your nunchuck settings. So keep this up, down, left, and right as your left controller. Your left control stick, I should say. Thumbstick. I did have a little wiggle to mine, so I did put a 9% dead zone in it there. But one big thing, your buttons, your C and your Z. Let's make that button 6. Button 6 is your left trigger, and you want that be there because that is your left hook star ability. So when you're attacking, punching with your left arm, you will want to use when you press the left punch button, you want to use the left trigger in order to activate the star power with it. Once again, you can only earn the star power though after you've done a good move on the game against your opponent. Okay. Next is the extension motion simulator, and this right here is the essentially you're shaking the nunchuck. So what I did, since I was having issues with my square button working, I just assigned everything to it. Check to see if this works for you. If it doesn't, play with it. I'm gonna play with it still to see if I can get it working great. But essentially, made the X, Y, and Z axis assigned to the square button, which is button 0. Increased the intensity all the way up, made no dead zone, and then increase the frequency to 20. So that way I can just choose this button over and over again. Okay, and then the tilt, once again, like I said, I had issues with it. Go ahead and just make all of those the square button. I didn't change anything with the angle or the velocity. That might have something to do with it. Go ahead and play with that if you feel so brave. If not, keep it at that. And then the swing, assign all of it to the square button as well. Nunchuck, button 7. Well, I'm just trying to find, button 7 is the right control, or the right trigger. I think that's from Skyward Sword as well. You can get rid of that. You don't have to have these button 7 here. Anyway, guys, that is everything that you need in order to play this game. So let's go back into another game. Let's just play the next guy in this series. And let me show you once again how to fight these dudes. So Von Kaiser. And see, I'm using my left control stick right now. Left thumb stick. I can center it with the click. Yeah, let's go ahead. Doing a practice run. So I'm fighting against Hologram, Von Kaiser. And A button to start. Okay. Of course, I'm just skipping everything for you so you can here. Fight the action. But yeah, seems to be working great. Both left and right. Lost a star, how dare you? But anyway, you get the point. I could just keep going on, but I'll stop it here. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. It helps me out, but also, you know, it kind of lets me know what you guys want to see in the future for content. Anyways, leave your comments down below if you have any questions. I try my best to answer them. And I hope you guys have a great day, and keep the good games going.